Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another weekly reading update. Today is April 26th. My birthday is next week. I've got a couple videos scheduled for you next week and the week after that, but I probably won't get another weekly reading update because we're taking a bookstore road trip next week for my birthday. You guys have heard me talk about the McKay's bookstores a lot on this channel. I love them. They're my favorite bookstores. They're a used bookstore, toy store, record store, movie store, DVDs. They've got like everything you need in entertainment. They're used. You can trade yours in and get credit or cash. I love it. We have two here in North Carolina, but they originated, I believe, in Tennessee. And we're going to take a trip next week to all three of the original McKay stores in Tennessee, in Nashville, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. And I am so excited for this trip. So I probably won't be able to get in another weekly reading update before then, but here I am to update you all on what I have finished, what I'm currently reading, what I'm going to be reading next. So just a couple things that I have finished because this has been a very busy week. I finished Miami by Joan Didion. This is a nonfiction book that is found in the collection We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live, which I'm slowly getting through. I think I'm going to increase the pace of this now that I'm reading it on my own and not with a bunch of people, and kind of just have this as an ongoing read until I get to the end. Didion always manages to dig deep to expose the core of the issue of what she's writing about. In Miami, in her book Miami, she balances her own observations and views as an outsider with personal testimony, professional testimony, interviews, other journalistic pieces, and government documents, all wrapped up in one amazing book. I learned so much about Miami in this book because I didn't know a whole lot about it other than what I've experienced when I've been there for work, but I learned so much more about that city and really the times of when it was kind of essentially established by the Cuban immigrants. It was a really interesting book. I also finished a Jim Butcher Dresden Files short story, Even Hand. This was from the point of view of our main bad guy, and it was so great to get a story from a different point of view. It was a nice cleanser, TBR cleanser. It was just a great change from what we've been having so far. Now, my current reads include The Curse of the Mist Wraith by Janie Wirtz. I am really enjoying this book, but I am taking it slow because it is prose that forces you to slow down. So I have the physical book from the library, but I've also got the ebook from the library on Hoopla, so I'm kind of going back and forth between those depending on where I am in the day. I'm also really sucked into The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. I am so intrigued by this writing style. At first, I was really confused by it, but then I realized it's just one of those books that you just have to kind of go along with, and little by little, it'll be explained throughout the book, and I'm really enjoying that. I am also enjoying, of course, The Fiery Cross by Dana Gabaldon, my reread of Outlander Book 5. We are in now the middle of the series. Things are starting to get a little bit crazy here in our Outlander world, and I can't wait to see what other new stuff I find out that I didn't remember reading on my first couple reads. And then the last book that I'm currently reading is an ebook, Orphan Train Escape by Rachel Wesson. This is like a historical fiction, Christian fiction book. I'll likely finish this one this weekend. It was a pretty short book. It's about this group of orphan kids, this family of orphan kids, who the oldest daughter is being essentially forced to become a mail order bride for a man out west because they are not only orphaned, but they're essentially homeless, and they found help in this essentially women's shelter, but the shelter doesn't have space to house all of the kids. And so our main character and her siblings are take what is called the orphan train. It's a literal train that goes from the east essentially to the west and makes stops along the way to find families. Some of them are prearranged and some are on the spot, to find families that will adopt all of these kids. And so it's been interesting to see this process working at the time that it was. My next reads are going to be the same as they were last week. That's The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb and Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. I am picking up Amy Tintera's book tomorrow from the library. I just got notice just as I was getting home today that it was ready. So by the time you see this, I will be either probably getting ready to head to the library or already at the library or already back from the library, somewhere in the mix of going to the library. So I can't wait to start that one, hopefully this weekend. But if not this weekend, then definitely next weekend when we get back from our trip. So that is it for me for now. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite reading moment from this past week? What are you looking forward to reading the most this coming week? As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.